Hello everyone, I am here with a new topic, distant from current affairs, or you can say geography of Assam. And this topic is occupying in whole section of the media, right from electronic media, printing media, and it has become one of the hot topic for social media. Once it is in the news, this topic becomes very, very important for exam point of view, especially for APSC. And the topic is DEHING PATKAI, which is also known as Amazon of the East. Now, DEHING PATKAI is a wildlife sanctuary which is 111 km square area, stretches in the district of Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. It is also a part of tropical wet evergreen forest which stretches for more than 575 km square approximately in the district of Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, Shivsagar. That means wildlife sanctuary, which is 111 km square area, is also the part of tropical wet evergreen forest. And this is only the tropical wet evergreen forest found in Assam. So this wildlife sanctuary is also part of tropical wet evergreen forest, which stretches in the district of Dibrugarh, Tinsukia, and also in Shivsagar. And this wildlife sanctuary is also the part of DEHING PATKAI Elephant Reserve, which is approximately 937 km square. DEHING PATKAI Elephant Reserve, which is approximately 935 km square, and the wildlife sanctuary, which is 111 km square, is also part of this DEHING PATKAI Elephant Reserve. In Assam, we have several elephant reserves. Out of those, Sonitpur, Dhansiri, Sirangripu are the most prominent one, and DEHING PATKAI is also one of the most important elephant reserve of Assam. Now, this wildlife sanctuary has three parts: Jaipur, Upper DEHING, River, and Dirok Rainforest. And this wildlife sanctuary was declared by Wildlife Sanctuary in 30 June 2004. Now, why this wildlife sanctuary is called DEHING PATKAI? Because through this wildlife sanctuary, there is a river which is called DEHING, and the river DEHING passes through this wildlife sanctuary, and it is also situated on the foot of the Patkai mountains, because the wildlife sanctuary through which a river DEHING passes through it, and the wildlife sanctuary also located on the foot of the Patkai mountains. That's why this wildlife sanctuary is called DEHING PATKAI Wildlife Sanctuary. Now, it is in the news. Why? What it is famous for? What are the uniqueness DEHING PATKAI possesses? If you consider fauna, then in this region we found Chinese pangolin, flying fox, wild pig, sambar, barking deer, etc. And these are the unique species. And besides this, it is the only sanctuary in India which is the home to several species of wild cats: jungle cats, leopard, clouded leopard, tiger, golden cat, leopard cat, and marble cat. Besides this, a unique species which is known as Assamese macaw, a primate found in the forest, is in the red list of near threatened species. Because of all this reason, DEHING PATKAI is famous. Now, every species in the world are very important. Each species plays a crucial role in the food chain. If any one species is lost from the food chain, then whole food chain is disturbed. This causes an ecological disturbance. Now, in order to prevent ecological disturbance, a list has been created by IUCN, and this list is called Red List. Under this list, all species are classified under two categories: not evaluated and evaluated. Evaluated species are classified again two types. Those species whose data are not sufficient, they are placed under data insufficient list, and those species whose data we know are placed under data sufficient. Again, data sufficient are classified under 5 different groups. One is least concerned, near threatened, threatened, extinct in wild. That means in wild form we could not get this species, but somehow we are able to make them available in artificial form, either in zoo or in other place, and those species which are already extinct. Now, threatened species are classified under 3 categories: vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered. Now, which species are classified under vulnerable species? Those species whose population has reduced by 50% in last 10 years. In last 10 years from today, if their population has reduced by 50%, then it comes under vulnerable. It also has to satisfy that its population is less than 10,000 number. Again, 10% extinction in 100 years. If all 3 conditions are satisfied, those species falls under vulnerable species. Similarly, if you come in endangered species, it has to satisfy all 3 conditions. Number 1 is its population has reduced by 70% in last 10 years. Number 2, population is less than 250 number. Number 3, 20% extinction in 20 years. This we have to calculate after today. That means suppose I am taking today, so after 20 years its extinction must be what? 20% possibility. Now, in case of critically endangered species, population has reduced by 90% in last 10 years, and its population is less than 50 number. Number 3, 50% extinction in 10 years. If it satisfies all 3 conditions, then it is said to be what? Critically endangered. If it satisfied all three conditions, it falls under endangered species. If it satisfies all three conditions, it comes under vulnerable species. Now, why it is in news? Why DEHING PATKAI is in news? Coal India Limited, which has got a green signal from National Board of Wildlife in order to extract the coal in the area of 98.59 hectares of land which belong to DEHING PATKAI Elephant Reserve. And it is a report of Sentinels which also said that 57.20 hectares of land from the proposed forest had already been broken up by Coal India, and only 41.39 hectares are left. That means 57.20 hectares of land already been broken up by Coal India, only 41.39 hectares has been left. However, the media reports are also saying that Assam Forest Department has slapped a penalty of rupees 43.25 crore on PSU, Major Coal India Limited, for carrying out illegal mining inside a reserve forest for 16 years from 2003. This Coal India has been involved in mining from last 16 years around 2003. Because of this, Assam Forest Department has penalized them and rupees 43.25 crores has been obtained. This is also from media reports. Now, I am going to say about the National Board of Wildlife. It is a statutory body constituted in 2003 under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. It falls under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Chairperson is Prime Minister of India and presently is Narendra Modi. Now, a statutory body, in order to explain that, first, the body is basically classified two types. One is constitutional body, other is what extra constitutional or non-constitutional body. Now, in constitutional body, that is defined in the constitution, those body which derive its authorities from the constitution, or in layman terms, it's already in the constitution. Those bodies which are already in constitutions are called constitutional bodies. Extra constitutional bodies or non-constitutional bodies that doesn't define in Constitution of India. Now, these extra constitutional or non-constitutional bodies are categorized in statutory bodies or non-statutory bodies. Statutory bodies are those bodies which are created by an act in the parliament. That means it is the example of healthy democracy. Those bodies, they are created by an act in the parliament. Maximum members of the parliament are involved. So this is also the example of healthy democracy. Example, CBI, NHRC, etc. National Human Rights Commission. Non-statutory body, those are created by executive resolution. I am not saying that this is not the example of healthy democracy, but this is what lesser members are involved. Only those members who are in power, they are involved in creating such type of bodies. For example, Niti Aayog. Now, probable impacts of mining. Number one, loss of habitat leads to loss of biodiversity. What happens when the flora and fauna will lose their natural habitat? They are bound to move to another environment which they are not used to, because of which most of the flora and fauna will lose their life, which will lead to loss of biodiversity. Number two, loss of carbon sink leads to climate change. The forest, they are always act as the absorber of the carbon which are released because of industrial activity, automobile industries. What happens? This carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, when they are present in the atmosphere, they will lead to increase in temperature. How? Because they always trap the reflected solar radiation from the earth's surface in the long wave. That means the solar radiations which falls inside the earth's surface or falls in the surface of the earth, they are short wavelength, but the reflected wavelength are what they are long wavelength. These long wavelength solar radiation can be trapped by what? These compounds of carbon, thereby increasing the temperature, and which leads to global warming. As a result, what happens? Polar ice will melt. When polar ice will melt, sea level will increase. When sea level will increase, that leads to loss of biodiversity. Number three, man-animal conflict. What happens? Because of loss of natural habitat, most of the animals like tiger, elephant, they are bound to move towards the human population, which leads to conflict with the man. As a result, sometimes animals are killed, sometimes men are killed, which leads to loss of biodiversity. And number four, loss in glory of Assam. What happens? Assam is known for its natural beauty, and forest cover is the one main component for its natural beauty. When forest cover will be lost, then we will indirectly, Assam will lose its glory. Now, why this movement becomes so popular? The credit goes to social media campaign and protest. Guwahati University Eco Club has started a campaign digitally to create awareness and save the sanctuary for further damage. The campaign has started by #MoiPrakriti, the Eco Club of Guwahati University Postgraduate Students Union. Besides this, several petitions have been filed, Save Saleki and DEHING PATKAI Elephant Reserve from coal mining.